Alright, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alright, mics are going hot in 3, 2, 1, go.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the A51 YAS Community Series, the ApexRacingTV's third round here at wonderful Laguna, Seca. I'm Austin. I am joined by Tyler Maxton, and we are here live from Laguna, Seca. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Austin. I'm ready to go MX5 racing here at Laguna Seca. We had a very exciting round last time at Concord, and now we head to what everyone knows very, very well in these MX5s here at Laguna. It's going to be a very fun round.
Yeah, round 1 and 2 were, quote, what some would call a lottery round, especially with Concord, it being a tricky triangle, but it was actually much cleaner than Daytona, actually. And Daytona was a massive draft fest, but 2 rounds, 2 completely different winners, 2 completely different tracks, and now it comes to the track that everyone knows in these MX5. So it's going to be the most competitive track on the calendar and the most true skill showing on the calendar.
Yeah, it certainly will here today. It's going to be a very challenging round for the drivers. And as we wait just a few more moments here for qualifying to get underway, we're going to head over to a quick ad break just before we get to the start of qualifying to thank our sponsor here who makes all the overlays happen tonight.
We're back. We are back for the YAS Racing Association A51 Community Series here at Laguna Seca. Tyler, we're here at the wonderful desert track, classic on iRacing. Everyone has driven this track in these cars, so it's going to be very, very competitive. But it is a open. Wait. I believe yes, it is a open series.
Yes, it is an open qualifying from what I understand. And I believe it's also open setup. But right now we're in practice. Everyone just kind of making their way around here. We'll see quite a few drivers just getting their last-minute preps in for the qualifying session. We currently have 17 drivers, racing tonight. One driver's yet to set a lap, but it is Jonas Seeger. He's been so fast these last few weeks. And on that note, we will pull up your current standings here that as they run. So there is your current championship standings on your screen. Aaron Rodgers currently leads the championship off after the round at Concord with 1 win. He has an average start of third and average finish of second, so it's been quite a good few races for him. Jeff Mills down in second, Owen Watts down in third, Blake Bottoms in fourth, and Brian Zimmerman round out your top 5. But Jonas Seeger, he didn't have the best round in Daytona. Now he is quite a ways back here in the championship. He currently sits in 6th place, but he certainly has pace here at Laguna Seca, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him able to kind of claw his way back into the series a little bit, because he does have a drop round to play to his advantage.
Yeah, drop rounds are a thing, and this is the final race that you can, quote, have a drop in before you head to the very last round next week. And speaking of drop rounds, a driver that's on the leaderboard that will not be taking a drop round at all is Michael Crafton, last week's winner. He didn't show up for race number 1, so what he's got is going to be his final round score at the very end. So that is something to look out for, especially next week and this race.
Yes, certainly will be. That is your top 20 in your standings. But as practice is just now ticking over, we'll head back trackside here to the virtual Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, I believe is what it's called. Maybe it's WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca now. But we head back. Oh, it is Mazda. Okay, so it's back to being named Mazda because they kind of went through like an identity crisis, I would say. Yeah, they didn't really know what they wanted to be called for a little bit of time.
Well,
but as qualifying just gets underway. Okay, so it is WeatherTech Laguna Seca. You can see we have some drivers doing a bit of burnouts here in the MX-5. One of the new tactics that a lot of drivers have chosen to use. And, yeah, it seems to get heat in the tires just a little bit quicker in these MX-5s, because being that they are actually in a lone qualifying session, they only have 2 laps or 8 minutes, so they really don't have time to screw up.
Yeah, sorry about that mix-up. It was Mazda when I raced there, so I just always called it that. It is WeatherTech.
It provides good racing. It hasn't changed even since way back in the day, even after it had its change in names. The circuit itself has stayed the same. We've had some incredible racing still, and you can see we're just having drivers on their outlaps. Oh, well, that was someone off in the barriers. I'm actually not quite sure who that was there, but a few drivers, or at least one driver, is off of the barriers, so some guys kind of finding it a little bit difficult here to find a bit of pace, or a bit of grip, on the opening lap.
Yeah, lone qualifying session. We're riding on board Blake Bottoms as he drops through the famous corkscrew and heads through that long left-hander into the short right. But this closing section at Laguna Seca is just, you cover so much ground here, and it is just phenomenal on the roller coaster ride you get in this last sector.
Yeah, it certainly is a very cool last sector. You can keep up with who is currently the pole position setter. Once they have all set laps, there will be a display up at the top of the screen, and it will show you who is your current pole sitter, even if we have the timing tower shut off. So even if you can't quite see it, or we're covering someone else, you'll be able to see that just up there at the top of your screen as everyone will click through. And as everyone starts their first qualifying laps, who do you take for pole, Austin?
I'm not supposed to be biased here, so I don't really think I have a clear choice, but I believe Blake Bottoms will have it.
So you're putting your bet on Blake Bottoms. Let's see if he will be able to deliver here. He's going to round through what will be sector number 1. He's going to set currently, I think, a purple first sector here. So let's keep an eye here on the sector maps for Blake Bottoms. He is set currently a purple sector 1 and sector 2. So Blake Bottoms really off to a nice start of the lap.
Now, Bottoms been one of the more consistent drivers in this league, and he was always up at front in last race at Concord. Unfortunately, he was bumped out, but he's definitely making his presence known here at Laguna Seca. Multiple purple sectors for him, No one's completed a lap yet as we're in 3 minutes into this qualifying session. Well, that's going to change very soon because Bottoms, not only the most purple sectors, he's the first one to set down a time as he comes across the very final corner and across the line to set the benchmark of a 141.12.
Now I have a feeling that we're going to see that time drop down quite quickly in this session. Currently, YAS Seeger, he is right now really close, just tipping Blake Bottoms for pole. He was faster in Sector 1, 1/100th of a second slower in Sector 2. Now he sets a purple Sector 3. Here does YAS Seeger, and a green Sector 4. So he's coming around now to finish out the last part of the lap. He hasn't lost all that much time at this point. Blake Bottoms still on provisional pole. He's 0.4 of a second clear of the field right now. Let's see what YAS Seeger can do the first time around. And he's going to go to a 140.546.
If you have OCD, that is a beautiful pattern that was there. Purple, green, purple, green, purple. Seeger takes pole, provisional pole, and that last purple was taken away by Alex C. Harris, who got Sector 1 done.
So Alex Harris, he's actually just running through Sector 1 right now, and he's working his way around the racetrack. We'll keep an eye on his sectors this time around. He currently sits at so he's gone a purple Sector 1, a white Sector 2. That means he hasn't even improved on his own second sector. So right now, Alex Harris not doing the best in qualifying, but he still has another opportunity. He goes he goes green in Sector 3. Let's see what kind of lap he's able to put in. Look at who's just gone back to pole position, though. It's Blake Bottoms with 2 purple sectors, and he will take that one away from YAS Seeger.
Seeger's got 2 corners to go. Jeff Mills jumps up into P4. Here comes Harris, last corner. Gets onto the power very nicely. We are on the school layout, so there are some cones out there on track, so they might get a bit murdered. Hopefully they stayed nice and upright. Harris jumps up into P4. YAS Seeger, can he take back pole position? He's got purple sector 2, improvements in 1 and 4. Across the line, Seeger goes not pole.
He wasn't even able to improve on his previous lap. He actually was 1/100th of a second slower, so not the lap that YAS Seeger would have wanted. And these drivers, they really need to start getting these times in because there's only about 4 more minutes left in the session. There's not a whole lot of time to do these laps.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time to get out there and just go on. It is a 10-minute session unless the normal 8. So there is a little bit of leeway to get your setup just right. Currently, there are a few drivers that are not going out. I know 2 of them are probably not going to start the race. But that is just a hunch. As Yo cuts the corner just a little bit of the course here, dipped the wheel onto the sand, and he went around. Rachel Williams hasn't set a lap time yet. Let's ride on board with her as she takes us around a beautiful lap of this last sector here at Laguna Seca. Drop down the course here, completely blind, and when you go over there in real life, it pretty much throws you out of the seat of your car. Went a little bit off track right there, but it's not going to hurt her. Final corner. Absolutely wonderful. Down the front straight. Rachel Williams, the MX5 coach for the A51 team. And she goes 8th fastest.
So Rachel Williams able to move it up into 8th place. What sure is Aaron Rodgers? I don't even think he has another lap. Aaron Rodgers does. So I think right now the times are pretty much set as they are. There's just about 2 more minutes left in qualifying now. We have a 25-minute race tonight, I believe, so I think it's a little bit different than what we've had the previous 2 weeks. Maybe it's a 20-minute. I'm honestly not 100% sure. But we will certainly see some good racing. We saw some excellent racing in Concord. It's even better racing in Daytona. And with this being the third round of the championship, a lot of drivers will already be thinking about their overall championship lead or how much deficit they have to catch to the leader, depending on who you are. So it'll just really, I think, be one of the more pivotal rounds for the drivers because this is the last road course. So if you're one of the road course aces, this is your opportunity to really gain those points, especially if you've had a good rounds 1 and 2. This may be your round to really gain up those points so you can go in to USA knowing that you got a good amount of points in the first 3 races. You don't really have to worry about that final race at USA International, which is really, I think, going to be a big question mark heading into that one.
Yeah, it's definitely the question mark on the calendar. We thought Concord was going to be a bigger question mark, but with how clean that one is, I'm doubting USA is going to be a question mark as well. That was going to be another clean race as well, but I probably just commentators cursed that entire week right there. But we'll see that when it happens next week, same time as always. But this week is going to happen as we have 4 seconds left on the countdown for qualifying.
Yeah, 4 seconds left, and as we get ready to head in to your race, or to your starting grid, Austin, take us through it.
Starting up on pole is Blake Bottoms ahead of Jonas Seeger, Brian Savetsky, Zach Broadwick, Alex C. Harris, Jeff Mills, Aaron Rodgers, Rachel Williams, Blaine Atkin, Bradley Yu, Austin Beloke, Rocky Hartpence in P12. Ahead of them, behind them is Joel Phillip, Nick Parsay, Jake Brooks, Jamon Banks, Ethan Miller, and Zachary Thornton in the very final row of this 18-car grid. But I believe that final row is not going to take the starts as they're on their rookie license.
So we'll have to wait and see whether they take the start here today. Pole sitter Blake Bottoms will lead him out down into turn number 1. Well, really, it just depends on what kind of start he can get in that MX-5. Now, as we wait, this will be the final time the drivers will have pretty much any time to breathe here in the next 20 minutes. Take your breaths now and sit down and get ready to go. We got 20 minutes of MX-5 action from Laguna Seca. This track never fails to disappoint with MX-5 racing, and I don't think it will tonight with how close we saw qualifying, especially in a lot of the sectors. It was really one sector that would define a driver's entire lap, and it was Blake Bottoms who was able to maximize it the most. So we'll wait on the lights to grid up. We have about 30 more seconds. Waiting on just 3 drivers to grid up here, and then we will go into racing action tonight.
The tension is high. The championship is at stake. The lights are coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to go racing here at Laguna Seca. And what a start by Seeger, already jumping into the lead.
What a start.
And they're going 3 wide already into the back. I believe that's Rachel Williams kicking up some dust as she went around the outside of that Burger King car.
So a lot of drivers swapping positions here. We got 3 wide in the background. That's the 24 of Austin Beloke, who's going to move himself up quite a few positions. Blake Atkin then. He'll move up into 9th. Look at who is that in the background. That's Bradley Yu in the Burger King car. He's trying to move up. Oh, no. Rachel Williams is spun around and nearly comes back through traffic, comes into traffic, and nearly collects her teammate.
This new tire model, once you lose the car sometimes, you're just going to lose the car around. But looking at this leading pack, as we got a big old spinneroonie at the back, that's Blake Aiken.
So Blake Aiken is going to spin it around to the bottom of the hill, and he's going to pack it into the tire wall hard here on lap number 1. Like you were saying, Austin, it's so difficult to get heat in these tires, and the drivers have proved it here today. They are really struggling on this opening lap.
Osbaloke following that shiny chrome car of Joe LaPhillippe. And I must say, I love it. Ooh, Banks has a problem. As Nick Barcet goes off track, Jamone Banks, even before the courser was already off the track, as cars heading into the pit lane, all ready to fix some damage or serve a penalty.
Some of the drivers may have gotten a jump start penalty. One driver who certainly didn't, though, is Jonas Seeger. He has now got Blake Bottoms, the pole sitter, all over his rear bumper here. We ride on board with them. And you can see Blake Bottoms, he seems to be having a little bit of connection issues to the server, but nothing too serious here for him. He's able to get back in. Right behind them is Brian Zabrelski. He is in third place, and then Orange MX-5 just 1.2 seconds behind. So if these two get a little argy-bargy ahead of him, keep an eye out for him to quite possibly move himself up a few positions. He wasn't too far behind in qualifying, and he's someone that can certainly challenge here for the race victory, especially if the two out in the lead decide that they want to get into a bit of a boxing match.
Yeah, and it looks like that boxing match is about to go all 12 rounds because Blake Bottoms has caught right back up with Jonas Seeger. Seeger had almost a 1 second gap to Bottoms, and Bottoms has caught right back up with him.
It certainly has then. Let's ride on board here with Blake Bottoms. He's looking all over the place on Jonas Seeger, trying to move himself up into the race lead, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty difficult one there for him, because right now Jonas Seeger seems to be defending that quite good.
It's Raceway Laguna Seca is a very difficult place to pass. Honestly, in the slower cars, it's much easier to get a move off of, but in the faster cars, it is very difficult. As we see Brodnik and Savesky going side by side into the Andretti hairpin, but Brodnik holding that bottom line is going to get P3 as Savesky, and Rogers now, championship leader, going side by side with Savesky. He's got the inside corner. They almost touch right there, but it's going to be Savesky holding off Rogers.
So Brian Zabrowski able to hold off Aaron Rodgers. But the battle for the lead is what we need to be focused on right now, because Jonas Seeger has got Blake Bottoms all over him, and Bottoms is not letting it up. They have a 2 second advantage, so right now they're pretty safe to go ahead and start battling if they wanted to, and possibly duke it out for the first position.
As they fly way off the track, Blake Bottoms absolutely murders a cone. And he is driving the iRacing crash test vehicle for a reason, and that is one of those reasons. Had pray to that Cones family. He served his purpose well.
Yeah, the Cones most certainly do get murdered here at Laguna Seca quite often, especially on this school layout, because there is so many of them at every apex and at every exit. So the drivers make a little bit of a mistake, and the Cone's the one who has to suffer.
Hashtag Cones lives matter, and they kill another one. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, but I do want to just say, though, can we just take a moment to recognize the marshals here at this circuit, who seem to be able to have an unlimited supply of cones and can put them back in identical positions every single lap, no matter how many of them are murdered in a single go.
Great marshals here on the iRacing Series at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Our buddy and fellow commentator Marco Barbonera is a track marshal, and he knows on how difficult it is to get the positioning just right, even if you have the spot spray painted where it should be, as Aaron Rodgers absolutely plows over a cone right there. Now, you can't get these cones stuck underneath your car. That does affect your performance. I believe these MX-5s, though, they have the ground clearance, so that doesn't happen. So they'll be good right now, but look at how wide Brodnik went right there. hits the cone. Now, you don't want to hit the cones. That means you extended the track and went off the line. And Sabelski is getting a good run, heading into the corkscrew side by side, deep on the brakes they go. And no moves there, but look at Rogers. He sniffed blood, and he is firing on all cylinders. But wait, Seeger's gone slow. Jonas Seeger's got a slowdown, and he's dropped down to 5th place.
Oh no, he's just nearly lost it then on the exit of the corner. Slow as Jonas Seeger. That has now allowed Blake Bottoms up into the lead. So new race leader, Blake Bottoms.
And he's got a comfortable 4-second gap to the rest of the field who are coming across the line right now. Broadnet, Sabelski, Rogers, and Seeger. This charging pack. Here comes championship leader Aaron Rogers down the inside into the Andretti hairpin. Rogers up to 3rd.
And Jonas Seeger, he's losing even more positions here. He's now down to 4th place. And look at Zabrelski and Mills now side by side. But you know Jonas Seeger's going to absolutely be kicking himself over that mistake. That's pretty much handed Blake Bottoms a victory. He pretty much just has to cruise around for the next 13 minutes.
It is very easy to put your brain in cruise mode, but that is when the mistakes start to happen. And Seeger is smelling blood in the water right now. He knows he's fast. He knows that he's one of the best drivers out there. And he just got to put 2 and 2 together and charge up through this field. But he's got championship leader Aaron Rodgers ahead of him and a charging field behind him as well. It's going to be all on his shoulders right now to go up through the grid. But Rodgers went off track right there, and Rodgers is going slow. Rodgers got a slowdown penalty.
So Aaron Rodgers has to serve a slowdown, and he's going to move down to 1 position. Make that one. Make that one. Oh, no! Aaron Rodgers! He barely saves it. Aaron Rodgers is into the wall.
The championship leader into the tire barrier. He's got damage. He's dropping down very valuable positions right now in this race. Down to 8th place. It looks like it's going to be 9th. We're going to watch that instant again. Around the outside, Jeff Mills. He's just bullied out of there. Not sure if there was contact between them. There was contact. He did get turned. Or he just lost the back end. Yeah, it's just him losing the back end. Don't believe there was any contact between the two. We'll have to ask him what actually happened right there, since that might have also been Netco. But Rogers down into 8th place. It's going to hurt him in the championship race. And oh, this is huge impacts here, because 2nd place in the championship, Jeff Mills, who is behind Aaron Rodgers by 3 points, is now ahead of Aaron Rodgers by 2. So technically, Rodgers will still be in the championship, but it will just be by 1 point heading into the final round if the race finished right now. But Mills currently is battling hard with Brian Savelski. And if he gets this overtake, he will be tied for the championship lead. So let's ride on board with the Canadian and see if he can get past Brian Savelski and challenge the championship lead of Aaron Rodgers.
We'll have to see whether he can challenge it or not. But if he can move himself up, like you said, he'll tie for the race. He'll tie for the lead of the championship. Then it'll be all to play for in USA International, which is a huge ending to the championship. If you're not familiar with the series, 2 rounds of this championship are on road courses. 2 of them are on the ovals. We started with a road course. We finished on an oval. I mean, I don't know what's a better way to do a series. And then you put a couple of MX-5s out there. You're asking for some good racing.
The last round was certainly the most fantastic racing we saw. Such close racing. 3-wide bumper-to-bumper action around Concord.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Halfway through this race, Savelski murders a cone up on the apex, and here Mills has got a great run. Mills could challenge for this position right here. He's not going to try it. He's got half of the race left as he hops over that curb, kills a cone. And Rogers now. Rogers, he can save his championship position back because he just got past Yeo.
So Aaron Rodgers up past Bradley Yeo, and he will move himself back up into the 7th position. But Yeo's not going to let it go that easily. He's going to try it around the outside, not going to be able to make it work. And Aaron Rodgers was going to move himself back up into 7th place. But he's got a long way to go if he wants to catch Alex Harris, so I don't think that's going to happen at this point. 6 seconds is quite a monstrosity gap, especially whenever you run wide and nearly make it 7.
Back to championship implementing battles right here. Brian Savelski and Jeff Mills having a little drag race for 4th place. Purple lap time for Jonas Seeger.
So Jonas Seeger just ahead of him has purple lap time right now. He's closing in quite quickly on Zach Brawadek, who's currently just 2 seconds ahead of him, but he's got a 4-second gap up to Blake Bottoms. I just don't see him closing down a 4-second advantage in what is nearly 8 minutes now.
It is 8 minutes to go here at Laguna Seca. The race is here in the A51 YAS Racing Association series fly by so fast because A, they're entertaining, and B, it's 20 minutes. They definitely should fly past, especially when you're having this much fun on track and this much fun watching this close racing and competitive racing, as Mills has got a great run, but you see him applying the brakes a lot earlier than he was if he was going to challenge for that position. So Mills is lining up Savelski and trying to make him make a mistake.
Certainly is indeed here. And Jeff Mills, you can see he's on the attack mode right now because he is kind of looking, I think, for where Brian Savelski is weak, and then it's going to absolutely pounce on the opportunity to go by him. Here's another position that we have a battle for in the racetrack. It's Nick Barce and Yaman Banks. They're going side by side up the hill this time. And I think it's going to be Nick Barce who's going to be able to take the position. Look at how close Jeff Mills is getting to the rear end of Brian Savelski. He's right up on the rear end of that MX-5, but he's still not able to make anything of it.
Still not able to make anything of it, but like I said, he may just be back there to put a little bit of pressure on Savelski and go for that last lap pass, because I've seen this done so many times in rookie races, in league races, and on my own experience, because I'm crazy. But Mills, he's just all over that rear bumper. He knows he has the pace because we're looking at their faster lap times. Mills is barely faster than Brian Savelski in his fastest ever lap, but in the last laps, that's where it shows. Brian Savelski last lap 142.03, Mills 141.88. And if Mills is just back there just to be putting pressure and just wait, and oh, we got a cone swallow. Savelski swallowed a cone right there. You just saw it shoot out at the bottom of the hill, and that gave Jeff Mills a good run on Savelski.
Yeah, good run, but it's not good enough.
Rogers off the track.
Aaron Rodgers is oh no! Rodgers is off the track and he's into the wall.
Second time in the wall. He is missing his hood piece. Aaron Rodgers flipping end over end, swinging around in the same part, hits the wall, does a little rollover, and oh no. Championship leader Aaron Rodgers has fallen down to 9th place, and that has given Jeff Mills the new lead of the championship, and Rodgers is calling it. Rodgers is in the pit lane. We have a new championship leader for the YAS Racing Association A51 League, Jeff Mills.
So you know now Jeff Mills isn't going to do anything too dumb. here on Brian Zabelski. He's really going to, I'm sure, is probably going to play it pretty safe here in this round because he knows that he's fighting for a championship. He knows now that he will be the new championship leader coming out of this race, meaning I would assume that he's not going to make anything too aggressive or overly optimistic on Brian Zabelski to the point where he could possibly throw away his championship hopes.
But there is always a but, a big old but. There's a drop week. This week will definitely be Aaron Rodgers' drop week. And currently, this will also be Jeff Mills' drop week as well, because it is his lowest finish. Jeff Mills' average finish, it is 3rd. And he is pressuring Zabelski, so they're going to go racing to the line with 3 minutes to go. And we're going to see how it goes. And Jeff Mills, he is launching the move right now. Jeff Mills down the inside, heading into the Andretti hairpin. He's letting Brian Zabelski take the lead, though, as he outbroke himself. And Zabelski, wonderful send to keep it in P4 as Rachel Williams is going slow.
So just hooks it on the dirt there a little bit and then continues to lose it off into the wall once again. And then back across the track there for Rachel Williams. Unfortunate instinct, going to lose a little bit of time, but we got to jump back live here because Jeff Mills is all over the back of Brian Zabelski. We're right now just about 2 minutes left in this race. This race is pretty much flown by for these drivers. They really have to get a move on now.
It is go down to the wire between these two. Jeff Mills is getting more aggressive lap after lap with Zabelski, and Zabelski can feel it. And now it's just, when is Jeff Mills going to send it? It will be white flag next time by.
So Blake Bottoms here, he will take the white flag as they cross the line. No, he will not actually take the white flag as they cross the line. I don't think.
He will.
Okay, so Blake Bottoms will take the white flag. This time by, yes, he will. There we go. White flag in the air for Blake Bottoms. One more trip around the racetrack.
We almost cursed ourselves. We almost BSR MX5 amateur series ourselves right there. Where we couldn't determine that white flag time around Le Mans. But Jeff Mills all over the back of Zabelski.
It's certainly something I've done a few times. I can't say that I haven't accidentally called the checkered flag when it was actually white flag and nearly called someone a class winner, but that's a story for another day. But right now we got some racing on between Jeff Mills and Brian Zabelski. These two have been all over each other for the last 10 to 15 minutes now. They will be all too familiar with each other here, and with this being the last lap, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Mills goes for it, especially if he knows that this will be Rodgers' drop round, as well as it will be his, and that's Austin Beloke off the racetrack. That may promote, no, it will not actually, it will not promote Rodgers up, and Hart Pence as well. He is off too, so 2 drivers off in the same lap won't affect any of your championship contenders, though.
Actually, Mills has to get past Zabelski if he wants the championship lead, because taking the victory and currently tying the championship lead, it is Blake Bottoms.
So Blake Bottoms takes the victory here. Let's see if Jeff Mills goes for it. No, he doesn't. Out of the final corner, it's going to be Brian Zabelski who's going to be able to hang on here and claim 4th position over Jeff Mills. What a result then for Zabelski. He lost a position. What about Zach Baratic? He is up in 2nd. Pretty good round for a few drivers, but Blake Bottoms takes a dominant victory. 3.3 seconds clear of the field.
I misspoke. Blake Bottoms does not have the championship lead. It is Jeff Mills. I thought that said 79. It didn't. It says 71.
So Blake Bottoms, unfortunately, does not claim the championship lead. Jeff Mills will do that instead. We'll have to see how everything pans out here.
I must say, 3 races, 3 different winners. Aaron Rodgers, Michael Crafton, and now Blake Bottoms.
So 3 races, 3 different winners. Who is going to claim it next time out in USA International? We'll have to find out in a week's time, but we have your final race results here for you today.
Our race results for this wonderful race of round 3 in the A51 YAS Community Series MX5 Championship. It is Blake Bottoms taking the win, followed up by Zach Broadway, Jonas Seeger, Brian Stabelski, Jeff Mills, Alex C. Harris, Bradley Yu, Austin Peloke, Aaron Rodgers losing the championship lead, falling down to 9th place. Rocky Hartpence, Yamon Banks, Rachel Williams, Nick Barcet, Jake Brooks, Joe LaPhillip, Blaine Atkin, Ethan Miller, and Zachary Thornton at the end of the grid.
So that is your 18 finishers here tonight from the A51 YAS Community Series. We're going to head over to a short ad break, and then when we come back, your post-race show from the YAS Racing Community Series.
And we are back for the A51 YAS Community Series after a very entertaining and chaotic round 3. We have a new leader in the championship. It is Jeff Mills, but currently we have Rachel Williams with us for a post-race interview. Rachel, this was a very tough race for you. I'm pretty sure this is going to be your drop week. You had a lot of spins and everything, but how was that race overall?
Well, let's just say, guys, first of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to host this league. But, yeah, this was definitely not one of my better days. It was difficult trying to come back, and, yeah, definitely interesting. But thankful to the guys who ran, and congrats to the people who moved up and are in the championship, because I pretty much just dropped myself out of it today.
Unfortunately, it looks the case, but the fight up front is insanely tight with a new leader being popping up there right now with Jeff Mills after a very unfortunate incident with Aaron Rodgers. But we have one more race to go, and that will be USA International. So, what are your expectations for that race?
Well, USA is a great race for everybody. For me, in fact, before the new tire model, I had the number 9 time in qualifying in the world. So it's one of those tracks where I'm not an oval driver per se, but I've done extremely well at USA. But my teammates at A51 and this YAS league, they are obviously doing very well overall. And congrats to Jeff Mills for moving to the top. He's a great driver, and I respect him a ton. But yeah, I expect A51 to come out on top overall.
Now, speaking of the league, what was your original understanding for this league, and any plans for the future if there's going to be a sequel to this league?
Well, boys, there definitely will be a sequel. There may be a couple week break in between, but there definitely will be a sequel, and it's pretty much going to be a similar format: 2 ovals, 2 road, because it gives everybody a very fair chance, and it seems like fun. It seems like a really good broadcast. I don't know what your guys' opinion is, but it's definitely a situation where everybody has a track that they can participate in and excel in. And if you are a great road and oval driver, you'll definitely do well in this league. So, but yeah, thank you so much.
And for the viewers who are interested in signing up, where would they sign up at?
Okay, you can sign up for the YAS Racing League, YAS Racing. Um, I, sincerely want to thank a couple people real quick. I want to thank Apex Racing Online. You guys, Austin and Tyler, you guys do a great job with broadcasting. I really appreciate you both. My A51 family, you guys are amazing. I love you all. And Yaz Racing League, it's a great partnership, and really appreciate coordinating with you both.
All right, thank you, Rachel. You want to? Yeah, that was it. You already shouted out everybody. Thank you, Rachel, for joining us, and we'll see you next week at USA.
All good, Austin. Thank you so much. Thanks, Austin. Thanks, Tyler.
That was Rachel Williams. Tyler, any final closing words?